Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerry here. Yes, the chartered vendor. Thank you for actually promoting my book. I'm happy. We've sold more than 180 copies, which is encouraging. The entrepreneurship gospel is moving. Yes, during my career at M&J, I've noticed, not at M&J only, I've worked with various companies. I noticed that there's a problem, especially with most of the business, in terms of separating themselves, the owners and the business, which is actually called separate legal entity in business language, but I will take it into the layman's language. So what we're saying is, when you start a business, when you register a company, most of the companies, they are just registered formally as private limited, but they are not really operating as private limited. So what I want to say is, sometimes I'll give you an example whereby you actually may be into photography business, you're making money, you're making about, let's say, 10,000 a month from that business. Then we are taking all the money with you to your house, keeping all the money. So the question I want to impose to you is that money, does it belong to you or it belong to the business? Which is actually $1 million question. Because let's say you're actually working with other 3 people, then one of your guys is demanding to, saying, boss, let us replace a camera. You feel like you're actually giving them your personal money in order for you to replace that camera. But this is business money. So most of the entrepreneurs are actually stealing from their businesses. They are taking all the money and they think the money belongs to them. So what it does to you now, it disadvantages your business, it also disadvantages you as a person. Because let's say this 10,000, does it belong to you or it belongs to the business? The problem is, when you've got a wife, maybe she wants to actually spend. Remember, the reason why you're in business is for your family to actually survive better. It's for your family to have a better living. Sometimes you're going even to disadvantage your family because you're saying, no, you can't touch this money, it belongs to the business. The business is also going to suffer because when they now are starting to ask for some, I've dealt with some people whereby when the accountant needs some money, it's now being said, no, we are taking all the money, I'm always giving you money, I'm giving you money from my pocket, but you're forgetting that this money belongs to the business. So many people ask, what can I do to actually separate myself from my business? Number 1, even if the business is starting today, give yourself a salary. I know when you're starting, you are the shareholder, you're also the director. Maybe when you're actually in the photography business, you are also the cameraman, you are the administrator, you are the accountant, you are the salesperson. But what you can do, you can separate yourself by actually giving yourself a salary. Let's say your business is making 10 grand a month. You can actually say, no, the salary which I need for me to survive is 1,000 bags. Get your 1,000 bags in a month. But when you finish your money, don't come to the business taking some more money. When you're coming in to take some more money, let's say there's an emergency, it means you're now borrowing from the business. We are now also treating you as a creditor, which means that you owe the business. Then after 6 months, a year, give yourself a dividend from the profits. When the business is not making any profit, it means as the owner of the business, you are never going to get any cent from the dividend. You can survive on that salary. So this is actually what I've noticed with most of the entrepreneurs. And also, in order for you to actually separate yourself from that business, I encourage each and every entrepreneur to employ. You need a team in order for you to grow your business. You might have, let's say you have a videographer, you've got about 5 functions a day, one day, same time, and you're only one individual. You need to actually build a team. Sometimes we are experts in our areas. For example, you're an expert videographer, but you're not an accountant. It's either you have to outsource those services or you have to employ an accountant when you can afford. In order for you to actually increase your sales revenue is very important for the business. You have to employ the sales people to help you to find these jobs. You also have to train as many videographers as you can. If you've got about 5 weddings, it means you can cover all those functions. So many people say, no, I know these guys, they want to deal with me personally. I say people must actually trust your brand. That's why it's very important. It's another topic for another day. I'll touch on it on another day. You need to always invest in your brand better than in your name. If your name is still bigger than your company, then that company is in disaster, is in a problem. So you are not the company is separate. You are the person who is actually driving the company as the director, as the executive director. Bigger companies like Econet, you see that Strive Masiwa is no longer even part of the executive directorship. I think he has left Zimbabwe for almost 21 years without even coming back. Who is signing the papers at the bank? Who is signing the agreements? Who is signing the contracts? It means that the directors are doing that on behalf of the shareholders. So we need to know the difference between a shareholder and a director. A shareholder is the owner of the business, and the director is the biggest, the executive employee in that business. So if you're playing both the roles, you should know when you're now acting as a director, and you should know when you're acting as a shareholder. This is very important, guys. Separate yourself from your businesses. We need to actually know whether the business is making profit or not. So thank you, guys. In my experience, as I was working at M&J, working with a lot of companies, I've noticed that many companies are even growing to about having 50 employees, whilst the owners haven't separated themselves from the business. They actually view themselves as the business, which is very wrong. This is not going to make you create a company which is going to last for about 20, 30, 40 years. We need to create wealth. We need to start developing companies which can even live when we are gone. So thank you, guys. Until the next time. Thank you.